Today we are going to talk about software requirement specification review. This review contains 4 sections. Section 1, we are going to talking about organization and completeness. So we are going to implement completeness checks in this section. This method will help us to check each requirement contains a method and functions from users, because we got 2 kinds of requirements. The first one is system requirements, which means a kind of specified requirement, and we should implement system requirements by the information we have. And the second one is user requirements. Those requirements are statements, contain natural language and diagram. These requirements are the product looks like from the user suggestion, and we can also implement verifiability method. This method means we should produce some test data for the later test, and if those tests are available, which means our requirements have verifiability to continue. And the section 2 is correctness. We are going to imply consistency checks. At first, this method will help us to check if there are only one description for each requirement. It is important for our next stage, and then we can imply requirement reviews, which means our group members can do cross-checking for our requirements, make sure there are no grammatical errors and or other inconsistency errors. And for the third one, we can imply prototyping method. In this method, we will have an executable prototype program, and this is a good chance to let user to have a look for our current working, and show them our examples, and ask them if this prototype is really what they want to see. If users want to do some modification on requirements, so we can change our system requirement specification a little bit and keep working on. And section 3 is traceability. It is important to keep our program traceable, and so we can use requirements identification at here, because it's important to identify every requirements at first. Then we can use change management process to manage our changing in the requirements. And we can also, this is a set of actions to manage all the changing during our program process. Then we can also imply traceability management. This will help us to distinguish our requirement with design. Then we can know the distance between them and modify each other. The section 4 is special issues. Some functions in our program have timing criteria, so we should take care of those functions and meet them at time critical. So, which means we should have a specified plan for those functions, and we also should take care for those implementation standards. If we are implementing the user interface, we got user interface standards and something like that. So the last PowerPoint is my reference. Thank you, everyone.